Hello everyone, my name is SiC and welcome to the November news for Ground Branch. Before we dive into it though, I would like to point out that I now have a Ko-fi account, so if you wish to support the channel directly, that would be greatly appreciated. You can go over to the link that I will provide in the description below and donate whatever you see fit, whatever you can spare, if you so choose. That would be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get into the news post, because there is a lot of show and tell today. Now first, we have some important news on the development team itself, as one new person is joining the team and sadly another person will be leaving the team. New to the team is Callum Combs, who has previously worked on Rising Storm 2 Vietnam alongside environmental artist Will Bullen, and is now one of a total of 4 people for doing code on Ground Branch, which hopefully will make a lot of development or a lot of different areas of development run more efficiently. So that is very cool. Sadly, however, Mixon, who is the main guy behind the sound design on Ground Branch, will be leaving after a 4-year tenure. He is moving on to Infinity Ward, which is a massive career move, really. Yeah, and I wish him all the best. It's super cool for him that he will be working in one of the biggest studios in the world, really. I wish him all the best of luck. Now then, in terms of new visual effects, there will be flocking birds, which they have 2 videos for, which I will be showing on the screen right now. It's quite interesting to see it at work on the last video, where you have a small flock and they react to gunfire, which I think is a really cool detail. They just get startled by it and they fly off, you know. Just add something, a bit of extra life to the maps, you know, makes it feel less static, makes it more believable, or makes it feel more lived in. You know, I think this is a cool little addition. Next up, we have Muscle Flash Sprite Transitions, which is another video basically showing off the muscle flash, which will be more directional now. So when you turn a camera around a character, the muscle flashes change with it, because normally speaking it's a 2D image, and this will help sell it as an actual 3D effect. So let's have a look. That looks much better, doesn't it? Next up, we have muscle blast effects, particularly dust, which will be shown in the next video. And finally, the last video showing some visual effects, the door breach and fragment particles, which basically replaces the door chunks as they are in the game right now. And keep in mind though that when you look at this is still a transitional effect, or likely transitional, so it might get improved more in the future. Alright, with those videos out of the way, it is time for some quality of life updates. Particularly, we are looking at the customized operator screen, which has received some love. Now, basically, what we're looking at here, which I will be showing on the screen right about now, is the new weapon screen. And basically what they've done is they have hidden all of your custom weapons under the weapon itself. So let's say if you have an M16A4 and you have 3 different builds that you made for it and save for it, normally speaking in the current build, you would see all of them displayed right now, or in the next update. That will change so that all of your custom builds for the M16A4 are basically stacked underneath the M16A4, and by clicking on the M16A4, then there will be the reveal of all of your custom builds for that weapon. So basically we're seeing the base weapons only until you click on that base weapon, and then you see all of the variations that you've made for it. On top of that, there will be some naming changes as well, and this will be a bit more, there is an automatic system for it now, which you can overrule if you want, but basically the example they use in the blog is, let's take a look at MK17 CQC. Now, if you added a suppressor and a Spectre DR scope to that weapon, then an automatic name would pop up if you want to save that weapon. That would be something like MK17 CQC SD Spectre DR. And yeah, basically it just takes into account all the things that you put on it, and it will include it in the name automatically. You can, however, make some changes to how this works. For example, you could disable it through the options. You could just use the item name, which suggests only the base item as a build name. An option would be the item name plus key features. For weapons, this includes the name of the base item, sights, and whether it has a suppressor. And for fast platforms, it would list all pouch types. There's also a more verbose option for weapons. This would list all of the above plus lights and lasers. For fast platforms, this specifies the amount of each pouch carried. So for example, JPC 3 times pre, I don't know what pre is, primary max, there we go, 2 times frag. Yeah, so basically this will speed up the process of saving your own custom builds. But you can, as I said earlier, still override it and give it your own specific names, which is a really cool feature that should help improve our tactical Barbie needs. In terms of missions, there is also a little bit of news. There will be a longer mission timer, which will now go up to 2 hours, which previously was a maximum of 1 hour for a mission. And previously they talked about a new feature for terrorist hunt, which they dubbed Bum Rush. Basically, that means when there's only a few enemies left on the map, they will actively start to hunt you down, so you don't have to go through the whole map by yourself, and should make it a little bit more tricky. But this is now also extended towards intel retrieval missions, where they have a new Extraction Mayhem feature, which is not the final name, or maybe it is, it's to be determined. But basically, they have 2 options now. Either tangos can hunt you down in the bum rush mode, or they will start to reinforce the area where you need to extract. So you cannot just simply, or less simply, pick a path to your objective and then make it back the same way you came and not have to expect any bad guys to be there. Like, they will try to stop you from extracting, which is super cool, and I would say very needed to make it a little bit more exciting. Next up, we have a look at the new match system, which honestly sounds like a really cool feature for multiplayer. So as part of their server quality of life updates, they have now implemented a match system where specific criteria can be defined for the end of a match, such as a best of 3 for player versus player, or play until win 2 rounds for player versus environment. This can be set on servers in the usual sort of way, and also selected in the host game menu for your listen server. There's a screenshot for that on the screen right now. So basically what this does is it basically allows you to repeat the same map for a specific set of criteria. So if you're doing player versus player mode, you might want to do the best of 3, because then there is a chance for a team to come back. So maybe the first round is won by blue team, then the next one is won by red team, and then they have a decider match to see who comes out on top as a whole. But if blue team wins 2 times, then it's time to win or move on to the next map, for example. And that is what this will allow for. So that's quite cool. But best of all, this is also shown in the ready room on the new screen, along with an interface for all players to vote on what the next map is going to be. The prototype for that is on the screen right now. In other map news, depot overhaul nears completion. So there's a bunch of new screenshots which I will be showing on the screen right now, but man, these look amazing. The inside areas have a lot more detail, the lighting is a lot more moody. Especially love the screenshot with the tanks in it. There's actually two, one of the tanks being outside in night conditions and the other ones are inside in kind of like a parking garage, it just looks super good, man. These screenshots, very moody, very, yeah, just really cool looking. It's a real improvement over the current version of Depot as far as I'm concerned. Something that might excite people even more is there is new AI news as well. So the AI is being currently hooked up with a new light detection system that should make night operations a lot more satisfying. I have a video that shows it off really well, so I'm going to be putting that on the screen right about now. Now you can definitely see the new system at work really well. They have a really hard time seeing the player in the dark area, in the shadowy side of that wall, you know. But they definitely react to the flashlight very quickly, so like that lighting condition really affects things now, which is super cool to see. Finally, there is a feature that will not be in the next update. This is for the friendly AI, but this is just to show that it is actively being worked on. We have an AI soldier here opening a door and breaching it. And of course the player backing him up. It's super cool to see. So I'll be putting that on the screen right about now.
Open and clear.
And finally, ongoing asset updates. So in parallel with the more technical and player experience-oriented improvements, older 3D assets continue to be updated to conform to newer models. One example they have here is the MPX, which is receiving a full remake and currently sits at the low poly stage right before texturing. I have two screenshots of that, which will be on the screen right about now. Again, like they say low poly, this looks highly detailed to me. I don't know, I'm not an expert in game development, but it definitely looks really good. That will be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more. And I will see you guys for whatever video I do next.